We anticipate in the next 10 to 12 years, approximately 8 to 6 million Hispanics coming into the United States and 41 million Asians. You have been the majority minority for 400 years in this country. You have been the number 2 population for 400 years. You're going to get kicked out of being number 2. You're going to go down and become number 4. Now, common sense, even a 3rd grade education would tell you, if you didn't get anything when you were number 2, you all jumped ahead of me, but anyway, you can guess what you're going to get when you become number 4.
President Biden, do you support reparations?
Well, let me, since I haven't spoken on this, get a chance. Number one, the reason we're the country we are is because of immigration. We've been able to cherry pick the best from every single continent. The people who come here have determination, resilience. They are ready to stand up and work like the devil. We have 24 of every 100 children in our school today is Hispanic. The idea that we are going to walk away and not provide every opportunity for them is not only stupid and immoral, but it's bad for America. They are the future of America.
At the very same time that America refused to give the Negro any land, through an act of Congress, our government was giving away millions of acres of land in the West and the Midwest. Which meant that it was willing to undergird its white peasants from Europe with an economic floor. But not only did they give the land, they built land-grant colleges with government money to teach them how to farm. This is what we are faced with. And this is the reality. Now, when we come to Washington, in this campaign, we are coming to get our check.
We are owed $104 trillion on the very low end, plus $735 billion recurring. This number does not include the cost of about 50 Black Wall Streets that were decimated, nor compound interest from 2017 when Sean D. Rochester's book, The Black Tax, was published, nor the cost of Black life, nor the cost of living increases, nor the war on drugs, nor the current day pandemic. The number I'm working with is for slavery, Jim Crow, and accrued ongoing systemic racism, oppression, and disadvantage in the country our ancestors built with their lives.
Good afternoon on the West Coast. Good afternoon in the mountain. Good afternoon in the central. Good afternoon on the East Coast. You know exactly who it is, family. Angela Nirvana, your hostess with the mostest on the Reparations Perspective, bringing you those Freedmen hot topics and making the case for reparations. Making the case for weaponizing our vote, socializing our suffering, and today, fam, all the Black folks want to turn on my brother David Chappelle. Yes, indeed, they can't read beyond the white puckery because this brother has upset their plans to bring the not-so-affordable housing to Yellow Spring. Let's get into it. Welcome to the live. Please like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications. Y'all about to get some edutainment today. Now, I get that many of us don't know much about finances. Many of us, unfortunately, have not been homeowners. So we don't understand the racket of these white developers who are intending on making $1 bazillion while locking us out of access to all of it. And so what you've got to understand about my brother Dave, Yellow Spring, I'm from down the street from him, Dayton, Ohio, 20 minutes away. He don't often change his stripes when it comes to his fight and his love for Freedmen. Y'all can't sit up here and get in a lather over what these white folks is saying, trying since the transgender-ish that I never even came to report about. Trying since then to get the people to turn on Dave, to cancel Dave. Why? are they doing this, family? Because he is upsetting their money. He is upsetting their plans to gentrify and ethno-genocide us right up out this piece. He's worth $50 million. He won't put on a dress. He is a true freed man. Okay? We can scream Freedmen all day long. That brother is free. And he loves his people. And so you cannot sit up here and look at the way they frame this conversation to somehow think that Dave Chappelle has turned on the very people he's been fighting for all his life. Now, I don't know how you sleep white and do this, but he's managed to do it. You know, because they make them other groups right. Asians can be made white, like the Irish was made white, like the Italians were made white, like the USJ were made white. Okay? That brother can afford to tell it like a T.I. is. He don't have to be bought and paid for like the bootlicks who represent us in Congress. He has no fear of speaking up on behalf of what's harmful to freedmen. So I'm going to need us to stay on code. That's what I'm going to need, first and foremost. I'm going to need us to educate ourselves before we come out speaking against brother Dave Chappelle, who's for the people. He's for the streets. And we want to believe in these white folks who have had their oppressive boots on our jugulars since they purchased us from Africa. That's what we're really doing. We don't want to sit up and ask questions. Not y'all. I'm sure the people in here understand that I've got something to share because you've not reached a decision. So you're here to listen to me make the argument for our brother Dave and why we can't throw him away. He is absolutely right on this. Let's get into it. I'm reading from a Griot article. I don't have a lot of time with y'all. You know, Freedman life. This is the Griot. Who wrote this? Michael Harriet, giving you a shout out and credit, dated 2/11. Today. Okay. Okay, so hello. I'm Nobel laureate and billionaire philanthropist Michael Harriet. The fact that now he's playing around. The fact that I've never even been nominated for a Nobel Prize is not important, nor should it matter that I'm technically about $999.9 million away from having $1 billion like Kylie Jenner. I round up to the next billion. That's what's really important is that Dave Chappelle is keeping imaginary poor people out of hypothetical homes. Stay with me. I'm sure you've read the reports about how comedian Dave Chappelle recently opposed his hometown's plan to build affordable housing. And yes, the story was relevant. As an actual economist who has been ignored by the Nobel Committee so far, I was excited about the story. During a time when home prices are reaching record highs, we should be having a conversation about home valuations and what quote unquote affordable housing actually means, which is why we reported on it. Unfortunately, what everyone seems to have concluded from the bird's eye view reporting on this complex issue is that Dave Chappelle doesn't want a ghetto in his backyard. To be fair, unlike many other outlets, our story did not accuse Chappelle of speaking out against an affordable housing plan for a very good reason. Dave Chappelle did not speak out against an affordable housing plan because there was no affordable housing plan. Let me share his picture. He should be a part of the broadcast. Welcome to the live family. Please like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications if you feel so compelled. Bless the broadcast. The Cash App and the PayPal are scrolling on the bottom bar, and they are in the description box. I do want to see his face. He should be a part of my praise for him. Yes, he should be a part of the broadcast. Let me see, and then I'll come over here. We'll be together. There we are. Okay, very good. Hi, Dave. Lord have mercy. You see, this is why we need an anti-Freedmen defamation league. This is why folks like me got to come in here and get the brother up off the ropes, because folks want his head on a platter with all the nonsense spinning. Back to the text. I ain't got a whole lot of time. To understand what actually happened, there are a few parts of the story you should know. First, this happened in Yellow Springs, Ohio. The village of 3,872 is 12% black, 80% white, has a median household income of $61,522, and a poverty rate of 12.8%, all of which are very close to the demographics of Ohio. Me speaking. This is not the median income for blacks in Yellow Springs, Ohio. I had to reach out to my girl out of Columbus who works for the city to get me the real number. Black folks' median income in Yellow Springs is $34,000. $34,000. We're 12.8%. This is white folks and immigrants' incomes. Their median is $61,522. Not Freedmen. Stick a pin in it. Aside from the fact that it is extremely liberal, a more than 90%. Oh my God, I hate these things, the way they jump around. It is crazy, family. I'm trying over here. Stay with me. Aside from the fact that it is extremely liberal, more than 90% of Yellow Spring residents voted for Biden in 2020. It is a typical small town in middle America. Number two, Yellow Springs is running out of affordable housing. According to a 2018 housing report commissioned by the village, there is limited availability of existing housing. The village's older, higher income residents are fine, but Yellow Springs' stock of affordable housing is untenable for younger and non-white residents, meaning freedmen. Median income of $34,000. Median home price $305,000. The residents are doing something about it. In 1995, the village council adopted a public goal providing racially diverse, affordable housing that is racially diverse. Since then, the town created a community land trust that has built rents and renovates decent, safe, permanently affordable, and sustainable housing, according to the trust website. Dave Chappelle lives there, number 4. His father was a professor at the local college, and Chappelle owns commercial and residential property in Yellow Springs, including plans to convert a former fire station into a comedy club. Now, when Land Developers, a for-profit company that, develops land, bought 52.65 acres of land in the tiny village of Yellow Springs to develop 143 single-family homes, the residents had concerns about affordability, transparency, and the complaints that a dump was formerly located. Hold on, y'all. This thing is hiding my language. A dump was formerly located on the site. So to ease these concerns, Oberer offered a second plan that included a planned use development, PUD. In the second plan, along with townhomes and duplexes, Oberer would have created a public park, water retention ponds, and offered to set aside 1.75 acres to the city to develop 20 units of affordable housing, which isn't affordable to freedmen who don't qualify for home loans with a median income of $34,000. Oh, it just pisses me off the way we've been locked out of access to an American life in this goddamn country. Excuse me. Back to the text. In exchange, the city would maintain the park, the roads, street lighting, and retention ponds. To be clear, Oberer never offered to develop affordable housing. The city admittedly didn't have the resources to build affordable housing. Anyone who actually watched the entire village council meeting where Chappelle showed up should have wondered why none of the residents referred to Oberer's proposal as an affordable housing plan. They never did. It seems as if no one wondered why everyone alternately called it the PUD or the Oberer Plan. It's probably because no one ever offered to build this proposed quote unquote affordable housing. All the residents in Yellow Spring had was a red spot on a piece of paper offered by a company that was going to make millions by not building affordable housing, regardless of what the city decided. The only thing lacking from the so-called affordable housing plan was housing that was affordable and a plan. It did not exist. An online petition opposing the site gained 438 signatures, more than 10% of the town's population. Sure, there were probably some people who opposed the PUD because of racial implications. There always are. Chappelle never enunciated why he objected to his tax dollars helping Oberer make a larger profit. But the interference in a multimillionaire was apoplectic about 20 people moving into a neighborhood where he did not live strains credulity. Okay? Yet, despite the ongoing not in my backyard narrative, what Dave Chappelle, along with many other residents who know more about the plan than you, or secondhand fever finger tweeters, seems to argue is that the development would make the city less affordable and less diverse. This is what's happening to freedmen all over the country with a median income of around $40K. We do not qualify for home loans when they're $300,000 and greater. This is what Dave was preventing Oberer, who stood to profit in the millions. It's not just affordability washing, it is whitewashing. It is business as usual. It is redlining Freedmen right up out of Yellow Spring. It is masking the failure of government at every branch wherein freedmen are concerned. We're on the run. We'll be a scattered people, like they did the Indians, which was us too, but I'm not going there. We were here before Columbus, but I'm not going there. Enslaved by everyone. And yet Biden can give reparations to gays. He can give reparations to Asians and protections. He can give reparations to Native Americans and protections. He can give $350 billion to the race soldiers to come into our communities and execute us with impunity. Rest in power, Amir Locke. Dave Chappelle, shut it down in Yellow Springs. From these white developers coming in and making Yellow Spring inaccessible to the few blacks left. That is what he did. And he's got the power. But even he don't have as much power as Jerry Seinfeld, who's worth $950 million. To Dave Chappelle's $50 million. And we've got freedmen dragging him because you don't understand financial literacy. You don't understand that even if you're a homeowner, $34,000 doesn't even qualify you to borrow against the equity. You've got to be around $80,000 just to pull the equity out of your home. Out here in LA, you got to be earning $80,000 to be considered for a home loan for affordable housing that isn't affordable, that locks freedmen out with a national median income of around $40,000 and no wealth. Well, that's just about my time. Oh, that was a short one, family. Hi, Tanya Princess. I see you, fam. Reps, I see you, love. Listen, for those of you I cannot see because you're off in Facebook or Twitter, welcome to the live. This is a short one because there ain't nothing much to discuss other than my voter strategy, which Dr. Claude Anderson, endorses. I'm going to play it again before I pray us out. The bottom line is there is no housing that is affordable for freedmen. They are giving our reparations and protections away to whites and immigrants and illegals and refugees. That's how this is working. And we keep going to the polls to vote this bullshiggity in the office on some lesser two evils when all of it is evil. And so I've got a voter strategy for that. And I'm going to be pushing it every broadcast. Yes, I am. Let me find it real quick. I had it up yesterday. I didn't bring it up like I was supposed to. Just give me a second. Hold on. Please like, share, subscribe, turn on the notifications. We got nothing coming from this current administration. Absolutely nothing. And he makes that clear each day. What did he do today? I think he's given $7 billion to the Afghanis over in Afghanistan. Yeah, that's the newest and the latest of our reparations just being spent on everyone but freedmen, whose ancestors built the country with their lives. Let's see here. Oh, Lord. The fight continues, family. It just does. Hold on one second, y'all. Here we go. I think this is it. I want to play this before I pray us out because I love Dr. Claude Anderson. He didn't necessarily endorse it. Okay, maybe that was a stretch, but he did support it. Because all we got left is the vote. Hold on one second. Hold on.
Right now.
I got to fast forward. Just give me a second, fam. I beg your patience. Lord, you guys know I'm a one-woman show.
Who doesn't?
One of these days, that's going to change. Let me back it up a little bit. Come on. It's tricky, y'all. I'm trying to get it right at that section. Here we go.
Put into a protected class. Secondly, get you a national black party. Get you a national black party. And three, that you don't take anything that does not relate to money and resources and opportunities. Civil rights and social integration are a divisive thing that will split you up and divide you. Stay away from social integration and civil rights. Those things cannot help black folk. They have been taken over now by immigrants coming to this country. That's why they get credit for anything they want in this country by claiming they're included and that they're equal to black folk. They're not equal to black folk. Black folk only control 1/2 of 1% of anything in this country. That's exactly where you were at the end of slavery in 1863. Get away from that and say, no, we want tangible, measurable things. And you start with right now with Biden. Biden right now got in the office because of black folk. He's already said he and Harris that they'll never do anything for black folk in terms of reparations and those things. Do not vote for anybody who would not support black folk. I don't care whether it's the highest, lowest offices to the highest offices. Don't do it. And you vote strictly as a block.
So, Dr. Anderson, can I ask you a question about the voting strategy? I'm sorry to jump back in on it, but let me ask you, because you're making a very, very important point that I want to make sure that we highlight. That you said do not vote for anyone who's not in favor of black interests. We right now are pushing a closed border state. We are now pushing closed borders, period, because that is an absolute imminent threat when it comes to our community. And that is our voting strategy as we move forward into the midterm elections and then to the presidential election. How do you feel about the closed border strategy?
I'm totally in favor of it. From the community level to the national level, you set aside your property and make still your community, and you market and close it. Market and close it, just like the Asians do. They mark Chinatown.
Thank you.
Everybody mark their towns with us. If you go across this country, you can find little Korea, little China, a little Helena, anything. You can find.
I'm so glad he's still alive.
Absolutely. So I'm sorry, Dr. Anderson. I hate to cut you off. We are down to our 2-minute mark, and No.
Jim is on the line. I want Jim to close it out. Jim, how do you feel?
Okay, family. That's all I needed you to hear. Reps, if you haven't heard my voter strategy, it is vote closed border candidates only, including Marcel Dixon to replace Kuhn Clyburn in District 6. He's got the best chance as a reparationist to really win that vote down there and unseat Kuhn Clyburn. He's got 57% black in his district. And it's only closed border candidates, parties be damned, because the Democrat Dixiecrats overpromise, underdeliver, while giving our reparations and protections to everyone but freedmen who are on the bottom. We are in the fight of our lives to prevent from becoming a permanent bottom cast, because we've been voting blue no matter damn who. The lesser two evils that's just as evil since FDR. We need strategy. The immigrants have a strategy. Under 50,000, they vote Democrats, Dixiecrats. Over 50,000 in earnings and income, they vote Republican. So while that immigrant vote is still split, as Biden is flooding the country with poor immigrants that he's pushing through Voter Right Act to get them to use their criminal records as IDs at the voting polls. While that is still split and his plans are still in the works, we need to invoke a voter strategy. I told you guys that this was birthed from reading the book Presidential. I see the brother's face, but the author's name don't come to me right away. Sean, I can't think of his last name, and I'm out of time. Anyway, it was a great book called Presidential. I did it it's in here. It's in the archives. It's in the archives. Look it up. Gotta go get my child off this track, take it to the dentist. I told you Dr. Charles Morris told Tony Roosevelt's ass after we delivered him the White House as Republicans, and he dishonorably discharged 167 Buffalo soldiers who were wrongfully accused of murdering a second white man after being quarantined in their barracks for being wrongfully accused of murdering the first. Dr. Charles Morris told Teddy Roosevelt's ass that you shot us when our guns were empty, and we're going to return the same, you Mickey Ficky, by delivering a blue top of the ticket and a red Congress to protect the Black South. Well, that strategy don't work because it's the blue that's undermining us and replacing us with immigrants while telling us no to reparations, while telling us they can't afford the reparations, while giving reparations and protections to everyone but freedmen. We get crack pipes and Maya Angelou on the back of a slave owner quarter. After delivering this Mickey Vicky the White House, and him lying and saying, you had my back, I'll have yours. Well, I can't motherfucking tell. I'm telling you, you need to show up in record numbers. You need to show up like you did for Barack Obama. You need to show up and let these Mickey Thickies know we are returning the same middle finger you keep giving to Freedmen with your benign neglect of our group when we are on the bottom in the fight of our lives to prevent from staying the bottom cast in the country our ancestors built with their lives. I want them to see us replace Kuhn Clyburn. I want them to know it was the black vote that undid and decimated And you need to grow a pair, just like our ancestors had to leave the Republicans for the Dixiecrats to get the few advances that they're dialing back and giving away to everyone. But us. That's what I need you to do. Grow courageous, spread this video, make it go viral. I'm being shadow banned because of the way I speak, because of what I'm promoting the people to do. I'm asking you to grow a spine like your ancestors had and stop going to the polls to vote for the ethno-genocide of our lineage. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever freedmen are and its allies, God truly is, because family, you are the face of God. You are the voice of God. You are the body temple of the Spirit of the living God. And know this, family, if nobody told you today, know that I love you, Black family. I love you so strong. Yes, I do. Until we meet again, family, you make it a beautiful, God-inspired rest of your evening. I don't know if I'll see you tomorrow, family. We got Super Bowl down here. And while I'm not going to the football game, I do want to go out and turn up and enjoy myself, enjoy my life. I got to balance this fight with some fun, family. So we'll see. But I am planning to rejoin you Sunday. I think at 12 noon, prayerfully, Black Diamond will be in the building. I thank you so much for joining the live. I'm wishing you a ton of peace, love, and reparations, family. I'm out.